What is good, my people? We are back with another live show. And I appreciate y'all listening. And I'm not gonna be on here too long today. I'm coming on to let y'all know that a live premiere will be on the Forecast Radio 24. So it'll be at 9 o'clock. So make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all hit the notification because the new video will be up and about 9 o'clock. So make sure y'all join that live stream. But I appreciate y'all, and I'm trying to stay more consistent. But I'll be real with y'all, like this been since the last year. It's been a lot of stuff been going on, but it helps me to get to where I need to be. So I'm gonna start fresh and maintain this consistency. What's going on? Real life. Yeah, definitely missed a few, but we didn't miss you at all. So, um, but I'm like I said, I'm not gonna be on here too long. So y'all call in or whatever if y'all got something to say. I'm gonna get off here at 9, and make sure y'all go to the Forecast Radio 24, and I'm gonna comment. Oh, I'm gonna leave the link for the new video. Um, that'll be coming up in a few minutes. So make sure y'all yeah, check that out. But anyway, since I'm not gonna be on here long, let me get right to it. Right, it's time for us to start facing reality. Right, we don't want to deal with reality, and the reality is we are at war. We are literally prisoners of war. Right, we look for every avenue, every kind of way to get out of it, but we do mix up what concepts are and what reality is. And reality is that the people who have the guns, right, the people who are willing to take it to that level are the people who are in power. It don't have nothing to do with how you talk, what you call yourself, any of that. At the end of the day, whoever is willing to go for theirs is the person in charge. Now, see, we have to start dealing with the reality of the situation instead of trying to find avenues around the situation, because there is no way around the situation. You're trying to reason with a psychopath, and the psychopath is petty, right? They hate taking losses, and especially if their feelings hurt. What's going on, my brother Bakari? I would call it my brother. And anyway, it's time for you to start facing the reality instead of trying to reason with something that is going to be petty. They're not going to take losses, and overall is about control, is about self-autonomy. And don't worry about that, troll. And see, that's why they make critical race theory so important for you, don't so you don't learn who you are, what your people have did, what they have gone through to get you here. But at the end of the day, right, you get no respect until you take that respect, because we are in the real world where this is reality. And the people who control the guns are the people who control the story. And the people that are in fear and won't move are the people who are going to submit to the people who are in power. But see, we are so blinded by our own fear, our own mindset, that we don't even see that they are more afraid of you. Because best believe they're not going to try you unless they have guns, unless they have backups. What's going on, Pelez? They're not going to try you unless they have weapons or backup, right? All of their arguments are double talk, double speech. And I want you to see the mindset that the people you are dealing with have, because they will go out to defend and take up for somebody who will shoot children. But we are on this tip where, well, right is right and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying it's not, but it's a part of being on code. Now I know all of y'all seen that video with that white girl in the Victoria's Secret, but you pay attention to what being on code is. Look how many white women came up and told the black woman to stop filming, to say, oh, she got a mental illness. See, we know they got a mental illness. It's called psychopathy. They have no feelings. You see, and what a predator do, because this is the real world, and predators attack easy prey, and predators make sure that their prey stays in a position where it's easy prey. See, this is the part of the reality we don't want to accept. In the real world, there is no such thing as fairness. To them, it is win or lose. It is all or nothing. And the reason why, that is, and we don't want to accept the reality, we want to put concepts around the harsh reality that we are going to have to deal with. Because, in the video that I was talking about, and this is what happens when you let somebody come in and be able to do what they want. Now, see, this is the videos that I want y'all to look up just to see the comments that they have. Right? There was this white boy. Let me see, what was his name? Yeah, this I'm not sure if y'all heard about this white boy Donald Meek, right? Well, on the 4th of July, a black family was shooting off fireworks. So when he went over there and confronted them, because they tried to call the police like they do, but the police didn't do anything because they weren't breaking the law. So what did he do? He went over there, had a concealed gun. Now we gotta look into if he had a concealed permit, but he had a concealed gun. And when he went over there to start trouble, a brother met him and kicked him off his property like he's supposed to do. Now, see, this white boy pulls out a 4.5 and starts shooting into a crowd of a black family with children. He shoots 2 women and a 9-year-old. Now, they love to talk about resisting arrest. That's why, that's why, that's why. Now, this white boy barricaded himself in his house for hours, was a shooter, shot 3 people, including a child, barricaded himself, and they took hours to peacefully negotiate. And see, this is why I'm glad this troll, because they all have the same talking points. And that's why you need to understand their talking points. But there's a reason behind that, right? It's called gaslighting, to throw you off, right? Because they understand better than you do. So why are you sitting up here explaining racism to a group of people who created it, who exercise it, and more importantly, stay on code with it? Look at how your enemy moves. Don't get mad. Don't get emotional. Watch it, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? But the problem comes in, and this is any psychopath that you see. When you start doing the things that they do to you back to them, all of a sudden there's a problem, right? You can't do the same things. It's different rules. See, they tell on themselves, but we are so emotional and acting out of fear, because that's what that's coming from. that we try to find every excuse. We will condemn each other. But this white boy went into a family who was having shooting fireworks on the 4th of July at that, and shot into a crowd and shot a child. And they didn't even charge him with attempted murder. Right? You talk about a few bad eggs. Well, most of those eggs are in the system. Most of those eggs are the system. And see, they're so stuck. People like this troll right here is so stuck on the Republican plantation that they don't know any better. See, all they got to believe is, oh, at least I'm better than the highest nigga out there. That's good enough for them. See, they come from these kind of societies that we're trying to fit into that we don't naturally come from. That's why every time they try to compare you, it's something that they have done to somebody else. When they talk about somebody spreading hate, like Khalid Muhammad, they try to compare him to Hitler, right? When somebody try to do something, they call them a Marxist. When these people were racist, don't compare me to no European, because we don't think the same. We don't have the same kind of society. Yet we are trying trying to convince them that, hey, we are good enough to fit in to your system, your society. Meanwhile, they show you disrespect all the time, because right now it's not just the police, it's these regular redneck white boys out here that are rolling up, pulling guns on black families. You see all of these white boys with these racist manifestos, but the first thing they tell you is he's a lone wolf. Now, one black dude did something in Chicago, we're all responsible because we're one great big Negro. But 7 white boys point guns at a black family. Some of them go into churches and shoot people while they're praying. And they all have this manifesto, but they're all lone wolves. And the crazy part, they're trying to figure out where they got it from. And see, in the other story, I'm not sure if y'all heard about the Winthrop shooting. It was a shooting near Boston where the white boy walked past all of these white people and shot 2 black people. And he had his racist manifesto. And see, what these white boys are doing is trying to say, oh, this is a fake story. They're a false flag. And they're doing this, they're doing that. As if they haven't been doing that for 500, 600 years. Because see, they talk about this violent gene. And see, I guess maybe those opioids help bring it out a lot more. But I mean, that's psychotic to what they have done to children, right? Who could possibly do that to a child? And now you got all of these, especially you got this Asian dude, Asian boy, whatever, but they can call you or say whatever you want, but call him a Korean or Japanese or something like that. Oh, it's disrespectful. But you standing up to somebody else who's violating your boundaries, they call you disrespectful for that. Tell me why you should care what anybody says when you are drawing your boundaries and say, this is not okay with me. Now, see, the problem comes in when somebody violates your boundaries, you say don't do that, and they do it again, and you don't do nothing about it. That's where you face your problems. And that's where you got to confront your fears. Because see, they will say, this white boy who went around, shot 2 black people, oh, that's a fake story. I mean, was Dylan Roof a fake story? Right? Was all of these riots and marches and Klan rallies, right? People walking down the street, Klan, I mean, not people, the Klan walking down the street, all of that's fake too. But no matter, even if it is, which is not, but even if it is, the real part is you asking them or you giving them your forgiveness before they even said, I'm sorry. They don't want your forgiveness, but you give it to them. That part is very real. No matter what they do. See, that's the sickness that we have to start dealing with. And by the way, anybody can call in. The number 804-601-4015. Like I said, y'all go to the forecast 24. Um, I commented the new video link in the description that's coming up at 9. So if y'all want to call in now, because I'm gonna get off here at 9. But see, they have no problem because they don't understand what racism is. They don't understand what right and wrong is. They gotta wait for the facts until you do something, and then automatically they know right and wrong, what to do, what not to do, what's appropriate, what's inappropriate. Don't let somebody try to sell you on no fake reality, because the truth is, the real reality is, the person who is willing to stand up and take their self autonomy creates their own rules. You're dealing with and trying to reason with somebody who don't even keep their own word, right? They'll go into other countries and destabilize those countries so that they can gain control. All about maintaining the natural resources. And see, we're so sucked up into the society where if they say, well, we'll come to you with a settlement, right? We'll give you $5 million, right? We'll be like, well, I got to take it, but that cop can walk free now. And I can't tell somebody not to take $5 million, and don't even ask me for that advice. But the problem is, those $5 million all have people on them that would have lynched you, and they're not backed by anything legitimate other than a reputation, a cannon, some nuclear explosives, because that's what and how people maintain control. Now they're going to sell you on the anti-violence, right? Despite the fact that when you tried the anti-violence, they got even more violent to make you get violent, to try to prove you wrong. But now they can preach to you this anti-violence. Well, that's the thing, you know. We can paint ourselves however we want to paint ourselves, right? Because this ain't 1821, right? We can control our own narrative. We can say and do whatever we want to do. You see, it's no more I say so and that's the way it is, right? There's no more these words mean this word mean that, because they got us so backwards that words that have nothing to do with anything, we take them and make them a diss. Right now, I don't say stuff like hotep or nothing like that, but that was just a word that comes from our community. And now that turns into a diss amongst us. That shows some kind of sickness. That's a mindset. See, you're supposed to be, whether you use it or not, be proud of what your ancestors did. Stand on your ancestors' shoulder. But, and we think all of it is a coincidence. That's why it's so hard and there's so many problems, especially, when it comes to the quote unquote gender wars. None of it is by accident. They design their societies how they want, and all of it to make all of us their workers. Now you see all these people on the Republican plantation, they done bought in to the, corporation of America so much that they die for it. And I'm not telling them not to. But what I am saying is, do you love your children enough to die for them? Because in the last couple weeks alone, right, there have been several cases of all of these white boys trying to pull up on families. And I want you to understand, because you got to understand, we're so caught up in our fear, we don't understand how much they fear us. Melanin always, what's up, my sister? Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be on here for a few more minutes. So, like I said, if y'all want to call in now. But you see, all of these people, all of these white boys are getting bolder and bolder, but we don't see because we are so caught up in our fear. They are so afraid of you. Now, when you go look up all of these videos and you see the comments, right, of a white boy shooting at a black kid, right, and really not getting punished because a white boy can shoot two women and a child, a 9-year-old, and not even get charged with attempted murder, but assault, right? And they're on there justifying it, saying, giving every excuse, like, oh, well, they were shooting fireworks. He told them not to. Now, they would say, oh, maybe somebody shouldn't get shot over fireworks, but they learned their lesson, right? That nigga got what they deserve. They ain't got no problem saying something like that because they're staying on code. And you don't try to debate with somebody because you can't change somebody's mind about a belief, but you use that as your example of why you need to get on code and how to show other people how to get on code. And see, they always have to distance themselves, but it's amazing that the same system has been able to sustain itself and to keep running, even though all each generation says, that was the generation before us. In the 60s, oh, we're not racist, that was the generation before us. In the 40s, we're not racist, that was, on and on. But in the meantime, when you say, okay, well, we're not even talking about that, but we do need tangible stuff for our communities, like, we need money for this, we need to do, well, we need to wait and see until after everything happens. And now you're shocked when somebody who didn't even promise you anything. But you got to find it some kind of reason. Well, we voted for the lesser of two evils. That's a sickness to vote for evil anyway, especially if it didn't matter to you one way or another. Now, all of these other groups, it's not as harsh on them, and you don't see all of that black and brown, uh, you know, black and Asian love anymore, because you are all you got. We are all we got. And you're never going to get that from somebody else. They're just going to use you. See, stop making it crazy. Understand it from your own perspective. You wouldn't hang out with a friend who only show up when it's going bad for them. And then when they're doing good, they're nowhere to be found. Because if you hanging out somebody like that, you don't love yourself. All right, let me take this call. Hello?
My brother.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on? It's Bakari.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, what's going on, brother Bakari? Trying to make sure.
Man, I'm listening to you. I've been in and out because I was busy. But I see this troll steady came in there. The colonist was tough, real life. The lady, the person realized the colonist was tough and had different upbringing, but that faded in generation. We don't keep pushing the narrative and don't stand with races on either side. Republican run states and don't see these problems you speak of. What? See, but see, that's the problem, right? And those are the type of people, as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad when people show who they really are. I'm going to be honest with you. I prefer the upfront racist bigoted. I respect that more than the one who's trying to create a scheme to stab me in my back. We know they have created a system for them to stay on top and for us to remain at the bottom and for everyone else to be in the middle, which is the buffer, to buffer us from getting to the top. So now what we have to realize is the things that we have to do, right? So unite, organize, and strategize. That's what we have to be ready to do. Because this country blatantly show us in our face over and over and over and over, and I can continue to say over again, how it truly feels. And once again, because I got to do this show soon, I just been tired when it come time to do it. But once again, back to the Wuhan flu or the Kung Fu flu. This whole country, including black people, because we have been brainwashed, up in an uproar because Donald Trump called COVID-19 called it COVID-19, the Wuhan flu or the Kung Fu flu, and it's considered racist. So now they have to call it COVID-19. So now they have a variant of the COVID-19. Is mutated from India. They don't call it the Apu flu or any other derogatory term. It's the Delta variant. But when a black man come with a virus here from Africa, a virus that you get from rodents, you can get it from some bush meat that people eat. You can get it from that, or a rodent scratch you. A black man bringing it from Africa, and that is called the monkeypox. And that's okay. And people don't seem to understand how that's a slap right in our face by this country. They don't mind it continued to call monkeypox all over TV. The monkeypox. The black man brought think about what they're saying. A black man brought the monkeypox here from Nigeria. Think about that. But we take that. It show us how they feel at all times. We just have to be grown enough. We have to be black. We have to be African man, African woman enough to stand up. And for me, I say it's Garveyism or perish. I truly believe Garveyism. And if anyone don't know what Garveyism is, they should study Garveyism. Not just Pan-Africanism. Study Garveyism. And if you understand what Garveyism is, we would understand. We find out people who want to follow socialists. We got people who want to be communists. We got people that want to be strict capitalists. We got the people that want to follow Gaddafi. But what we don't understand, any person, if they create a system, they're going to create a system that they can benefit from, right? And none of those systems, socialists, communists, but the people that want to follow Gaddafi or capitalism, you don't see us at the top of none of those systems, right? But if we study Garveyism and see everything we did under Garveyism, if we see everything it was called Garveyism, but if you see it, it was bits and pieces of a lot of different things, bits and pieces of what some people might call socialism, bits and pieces of what capitalism. It was bits and pieces of everything, but if you study God, not just him, study Garveyism, then study ancient Africa, you will see that's how we have always lived, and it was always best for us. We are in a society where we are trying to live like you call them psychopaths. And we are trying to be those people. And we're constantly reaching our hand out to those people. And we're constantly talking about how we love everybody. We can't do anything because we love everybody. We want everybody to get along. And if you're for everybody, in essence, you're for nobody. You should not for yourself. I can't want everybody. It's impossible for everybody to be at the top. We have to start searching for equality. We have to start seeking power. We have to start seeing ourselves as power. We have to start saying, we understand how they feel. White supremacy, that's their mindset. So we have to switch our mindset. Black supremacy or African supremacy, whichever one we want to call it. But that's what we have to do so we can see ourselves in a better light, in a different light, so we can seek the power and seek everything and gain everything that we deserve as a people, not just here in this country, but in Africa, in the diaspora, and all around the world. We have to seek what we deserve and take what we deserve. We have to get what we deserve, and we have to, once again, the only way we're going to get it is unite, organize, strategize. Race first, my brother. Peace, one love. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, I appreciate you calling in, my brother. Yeah, that was definitely a lot of true stuff, and like I said, it all starts with the self-love thing, and for anybody who doubts that or doubts who you are, right now they may let their hatred show. That violent gene tends to come out of them, especially with that opioid epidemic going on. They are in a terrible situation, right? But no matter what they've done to you, how much they've done it to you, right? How much they hated you, how much they've destroyed everything you've ever had. No matter how racist you think a particular person is, you always find these people in your circles trying to listen to what you're saying, trying to be involved in what you are doing. See, they understand how powerful you really are. And what somebody who has nothing themselves, they need to take that from you and they project their hatred onto you, right? They try to take your good qualities and use it for themselves. Now, as much as they hate you, they sure are in your circles a lot. They sure are in your movements a lot. They sure do everything they can to stop you. They sure do know everything that's going on. And we're not even talking about the culture which they take from you, right? And they make billions of dollars off of what you do, your gifts, right? And it's more than just that. Cause see, they're always gonna be around. And that's why, I want y'all to look up these the Donald Meek shooting. Just look that up in YouTube and read the comments and what they're saying. Cause all of their mindset is thinking about you. Right? They could be watching anything in the world, but most of the time it's always about you. Right now, you are sitting there doubting yourself, right? And they're telling you that you are wrong, you are stupid, you are this, you are that. When they had to literally take all of your inventions, all of your ideas, they had to kidnap you to be able to create this in the first place. Right? Because they tried and they died off every single time and they were going to die off again. Right? But it is only you that doubts that power. You are a powerful person where you can create a society, your own. Because, see, this is where we get back to reality. Because in reality, you know, you only give your power away if you give it away. Right? Nobody can take your power. And they can use your fear to control you. But in reality, if you was to say, I've had enough, I'm not doing it, then there's nothing that you can do about it. Because reality is whoever controls the guns controls the rules, controls the food, controls the population. See, but you can decide right now that I can create my own. I can do whatever I want to do right now. Right? That's a fact, Jermaine. Yep. And you can do all of this right now. And see, this is why our families and our systems have to be um, destroyed the way it is. Our communities destroyed the way it is. Because the only way somebody can even have this superiority complex is if they feel like somebody else is inferior. Now, if that inferior person is doing better than them, what does that say about them? It destroys their whole mindset. Right? They not only afraid to die, they are willing to sacrifice themselves in order to maintain the position they're in. Right? Dylan Roof was willing to sacrifice himself. And he shot 9 people while they were praying, old people, while they were praying for him. And they forgave him. Right? Where do you see a judge hugging somebody who killed somebody while they was in their own house eating ice cream? And you're not gonna tell me that's not Stockholm syndrome? And see, we like, because I saw something, and we're still talking about the first this, the first that in this society. And in 2021, we're still having the first this, the first that. See, we're still trying to get into their systems instead of trying to create our own. Right? If we took half of that energy to prove to somebody who's a psychopath that I am a man, I am a woman, I am a human, and we said the hell with whatever the hell a psychopath think. I'm gonna create whatever I want to create. This is reality, right? The only way you can stop me from doing it is by physically coming over here and stopping me from doing it. And I don't think you can. Cause see, every time you said I'm tired of it and I ain't having it no more, you've been successful. Right? It don't matter how many weapons they have, right? A psychopath, that's one thing about them, they're not that creative. That's why they got the same talking points. This dude here has all of the same talking points. Right? And I don't blame them because opioid has destroyed their communities. But how is it not blatantly telling you how they feel about you when they had the war on drugs when it was in your community? Now they have drug take back day. They build safe meth houses for them, right? To make sure their children don't OD and die. That tells you how they feel about you, right? This white boy can shoot 2 black women and a 9-year-old boy, and his bail is $200,000. But that little white boy got shot, right? And the white dude ain't get no bail, right? And the woman, just for not turning them in, got $500,000 bail. That's showing you how they feel about your value, how they feel about justice for you. Because are you a citizen? No. Why would you even want to be? Why wouldn't you want to create your own? Why wouldn't you want to have money with your heroes on them or people that look like you on it? And see what the real money is, controlling the natural resources, which is abundant where you naturally come from. No matter where you say you come from, I bet you the natural resources is abundant there. And no matter where you think they come from, I bet you the natural resources is scarce. See that psychology when you come from a poverty mindset, scarcity, lack, you develop more violent tendencies. You're willing to sacrifice more people. You're willing to do more things, right? To the point where you're throwing a baby out with the bathwater. See, you ain't have the problem of to even come up with the saying throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That's not your issues. But you see somebody kidnapped you, projected their poverty, lack mindset, right? No empathy mindset, and try to put it into your mind, and you're trying to see out of their eyes when they can never truly experience and have that same feeling, because who would do that? None of us would justify shooting some kind of child, but they will find a reason. Well, they shouldn't have been shooting fireworks so late, right? Of course, when somebody get tired of it, something may happen. But what they're really trying to say is, right? They understand what Michael Johnson was doing because he got tired of it and he reacted. Now, see, they'll get mad at that, but that's really what they're doing, justifying Michael Johnson themselves. Because I don't know why you ain't or how you ain't tired of it yet. But anyway, man, I appreciate all y'all for listening or whatever. I want to stay on, but make sure y'all go to the forecast radio, the forecast radio 24, and live premiere coming up in about 5 more minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up off of here. But man, I appreciate all y'all for listening, man. But it's time for us to accept reality. It is what it is, whether you like it or not. You are a prisoner of war. To them, is I'm white and I say so. It don't care or matter what you say, do, think, or feel. Somebody with a superiority complex just gonna look at you how they gonna look at you. But why is that your problem? It's not your job to fill up the hearts or minds or whatever, or make somebody else feel better. That's not your job. They gotta deal with their own superiority complex. Cause see, when they realize that, they'll say go back to Africa, but when they realize what they have, they'll be back over there trying to kidnap you in a few years, if not within a year. Because they can't come up with anything on their own. Remember, in a system where they kidnapped you, treated you with the most inhumane, criminal, thuggish ways, behaviors that has ever been seen on earth, and built a system around that, you are still the only group to pull yourselves up by the bootstraps in that system. See, never forget that. Never, even in that system, you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps, but they could not build this. They were dying off, right? They had berries and everything growing. There was fish everywhere, and they was eating each other to survive. But you were put in a situation where they took everything from you, and you pulled yourselves up by your bootstraps in the midst of it, not just once. So remember, you can always do that, man. But again, I appreciate all y'all listening. Make sure y'all click on that link and go check out the new video. And hopefully YouTube don't take it down. I'm gonna be back in a few days, man. So much respect to all y'all. I appreciate all of y'all for listening or whatever, man. So we gonna get there just one step at a time. At the end of the day, we are all we got. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.